Suspense, which is usually heard at this hour on Thursday nights, is taking its customary summer holiday. Suspense returns to the air 3 weeks from tonight on Thursday, September 1st.
You are with 3 men on a jungle plantation on the rubber coast of Borneo. You know that one of the men is a desperate criminal whom you've come to arrest, but you don't know which one. You have to find him before he can save himself by killing you.
We offer you Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Tonight, we escape to a Borneo jungle in a tantalizing search for a murderer, as L.G. Blockman told it in his famous story, Red Wine.
As the rusty little tramp freighter bumped against the rickety wharf, I dropped from the rail onto the planking and for the first time felt the humid heat roll out of the jungle like steam from the back door of a Turkish bath. I'd come a long way. 6 days before, I'd stepped off a float in San Francisco Bay, climbed aboard a Pan American clipper headed for the South Pacific. 2 days later, I'd boarded the mailboat in Batavia. And now, Tanjong Samar, sweltering and half forgotten, last outpost on the rubber coast of Borneo. Yes, a long journey, but here would now mark the end of it. I'd come to arrest a murderer. I crossed the beach and walked up the path of crushed shells leading to a low bungalow at the edge of the jungle. The freighter would lie at the wharf for 4 hours, plenty of time for me to get the thing over with and be back aboard when she sailed. I was expecting danger, of course, but no real trouble. I'd done jobs like this before, so I stepped confidently up on the porch and met Herr Kurt, controller of the Tanjong Samar district.
Yeah, I am Meneer Kurt, the controller. What is it I can do for you?
I have a letter of introduction here from the Governor General. Here you are.
Yeah. Mr. Paul Vernier from the United States.
The governor promised me your cooperation.
So I see. Cooperation. That's good. But he doesn't say cooperation in what?
Well, I've come here after a killer, Mr. Kurt.
Oh, Dayaks maybe? Headhunters?
No, this one's a civilized killer, an American. Wanted in San Francisco for murdering his wife. His name is Jerome Steeks.
Oh, I see. Won't you sit down, Mr. Vernier?
Yes, thank you.
Wonkin, bawa kopi.
I bring right away.
We will have coffee in a moment.
Oh, that's nice of you, but maybe I'd better pick this guy up first. I'd hate to miss the boat and have to lay over 5 days.
You are acquainted with this Steeks, Mr. Vernier?
No, I've never seen him.
But you do have photographs.
No, I'm afraid not. This was a very clever killer. He apparently took great pains to see that he was never photographed. He carefully eliminated all the fingerprints as well. What are you driving at, Mr. Kurt?
Well, simply this. There is no one in my district by the name of Steeks.
Oh, no, of course not. He wouldn't be using his own name. There is an American here, though, isn't there?
3 of them, Mr. Vernier, employed as foreman on the Cotta rubber plantation.
Well, according to my information, Steeks came here from Batavia about 6 months ago.
We all arrived 6 months ago on the same boat. The Cotta company is just going back into operation.
I see. Well, according to the people who've seen him, Jerome Steeks is a man about 35 years old, of medium height and slight build, pale complexion with black hair and mustache.
Amazing. Any one of these men might fit the description, except that all are clean-shaven and heavily tanned from tropical sun. Furthermore, Mr. Vernier, all 3 of the men have light blonde hair.
Kopi sudah di sini, Tuan Masa.
Good. Pour out 2 cups, Wong. I'll have Wong bring your baggage up from the wharf, Mr. Vernier.
Yeah, thank you, Wong.
It appears your business may take a little longer than 4 hours.
I'm certain of the information I got in Batavia. I know the man's here.
Then the problem resolves itself into a matter of identification. Boleh pergi sekarang?
Saya, Tuan Masa.
No, an hour's talk with the 3 of them ought to do that.
I doubt it, Mr. Vernier. The swamps here at Tanjong Samar are infested with fever. It's always hot, like now. And the jungles back there swarm with long-tailed true snakes and deadly cobras. In the rivers, crocodiles.
So?
Men rarely come here unless they're running away from something, trying to lose their past. I think you'll find all three men have manufactured stories. So, how is one to choose?
Well,
Moreover, according to this letter, I'm authorized by the governor to assist you in arresting and extraditing Jerome Steeks. One man, not three.
So it's up to me, huh?
Oh, do not misunderstand me, Mr. Vernier. I will cooperate with you in every way. But I think it will be a very hard thing to identify this man you have never seen when he doesn't wish to be identified.
I don't know. Sometimes it's easier to identify a man from his personality than from his physical appearance.
And the personality of this man Steeks is something out of the ordinary?
Yeah, for a foreman on a rubber plantation, yes. Yeah, I doubt if all three of these men can be aristocrats. And in a sense, that's what Steeks is, a cosmopolitan. Lived all over the world, always associating with top society. He's a lover of fine foods and wine, speaks French and German fluently. He's a gourmet, a bon vivant, a man of perfect taste in clothes and manners.
And a murderer.
Yes, and a murderer.
When the three men return from the clearing this evening, I shall be happy to introduce you to them, though it's quite probable they are aware of your identity already.
What do you mean?
Jungle Grapevine. Before you stepped off the wharf, my houseboat told me that you were a detective. Undoubtedly, the same information has reached the clearings by now.
I see. So, in other words, the murderer probably knows who I am and what I'm here for. But I haven't the slightest idea who he is, huh?
Exactly. It's quite an interesting thought, isn't it? More coffee, Mr. Vernier? Mr. Vernier, I would like you to meet Mr. Doran.
Hi, Mr.
Duran.
Vernier.
And this is Mr. Wilmerding.
Pleasure, Mr. Vernier.
I'll
How are you?
save you the trouble, Kurt. My name's Prale. Glad to meet you.
Same here, Mr. Prale.
You might as well drop that mister. We don't use it much around here. I'm Prale, that's Duran, and Wilmerding, and you're Vernier, if it's all the same to you.
Sure, Prale. Why not?
Now, if you gentlemen will excuse me, I have a number of things to do. Bring Mr. Vernier to my bungalow for dinner. We'll celebrate having a guest at Tanjong Samar.
Oh, sure. We'll see you.
Well, Herr Kurt tells me all three of you are Americans.
Well, I don't know whether I'm still one or not. Haven't been to the States in 7 years.
7 years, huh? Then you're an old-timer here, Duran.
Oh, not here, Australian.
Oh, don't let Duran get started, Vernier. He'll spend 2 hours telling you how he lost his shirt trying to raise sheep down under.
Well, if I had either money or sense, I wouldn't have come to this stinking hole.
Oh, I wouldn't say you fellas had it too rough. I've been noticing those empty bottles there on the shelf.
What do you mean, Vernier?
Well, here, Piper Heidsieck, 1936. That's good champagne. You boys are living like gourmets, connoisseurs.
Oh, you're overrating us, Vernier. Those empty bottles were already here when he came. Just never got around to throwing them out.
Prale here's the only connoisseur in the bunch. He can tell you anything you want to know about wine.
Yeah, or about anything.
Oh, dry up. Just because a guy happens to know a little more than somebody else is no reason to keep riding him all the time.
I wish you knew some way to make ice. I'm getting plenty fed up with warm beer day in, day out.
Yes, that would get pretty tiresome. I think I'd switch to Chambertin or Chablis or something.
Come again?
Well, Wilmerding, I didn't necessarily mean those in particular, but there are quite a number of wines that are even better warm than they are chilled.
You're in the wrong place, chum. We wouldn't know what to do with them if we had them. This is strictly a beer and gin crowd.
There'd be no kick on that if we had some ice to go with it. Oh, what I wouldn't give for a cold, frosty
Oh,
bottle.
relax, Wilmerding. You make me thirsty.
Oh,
What do you say to some music, huh?
Oh, music? Does one of you play some instrument?
Sure, Prale. He's terrific on that phonograph over there in the corner. Only trouble is he thinks 3 o'clock in the morning is the greatest song ever written.
Well, I can see that leading to quite an argument, Duran, particularly if you're a lover of the classics.
Oh, no. I don't go for that long-haired stuff. But I would like to hear a fast number once in a while. It's less than 10 years old.
yeah, you ought to see this collection Prale dragged up here from Batavia. Strictly from the gay 90s.
Prale, you don't by any chance have a number called Il y a un meurtrier dans cette maison?
What's that, some Italian opera?
No, it's French, approximately.
Well, come on, Prale. Translate it for us. You claim to be an expert on the French language.
Well, it's worded kind of funny. It's like poetry.
Oh, sure.
That last word, though, that maison, that means house. I know that.
That's too bad. I thought maybe Jerome Steeks might translate it.
Huh?
It refers to him, of course.
Steaks.
What are you talking about?
The sentence reads, "There's a murderer in this house."
Well, so you're finally coming out in the open, huh?
Yeah, we heard you were a detective.
Yeah, that's right. So what about it, Steeks? You want to give up now or try to go on with your act?
Wait a second, Vernier. I get it now. You're after some killer you've never seen named Steeks, and you figure one of us is it, huh?
Yeah, that's right, Prale.
Then the guy you're after is Wilmerding.
Are you crazy?
Who ever heard anybody with a name like Wilmerding unless they made it up?
Made up nothing. I got a passport to prove it. What are you trying to do, Prale? Turn attention away from yourself?
I got nothing to hide. It's either you or Duran.
What? Listen, you can leave me out of this right now. There's plenty of people in Australia that can tell you who I am.
Unfortunately, though, there's nobody in Tanyong Samar who can tell me for certain who any of you are. But one of you is a murderer. And by the time the boat gets back here, since I'm obviously not going to be able to leave with it when it sails in an hour, I'll know which one. Now, either I'm going to take Jerome Steeks back to San Francisco with me, or I'm going to kill him trying to. You can count on it. Well, what do you say we go on over to Kurt's bungalow and have dinner?
That's Wilmerding's room there. Duran sleeps here, and Prale on down at the end.
Oh, yes.
And this is the guest room. At least the only guest room that's usable at the present.
Yeah, it looks all right.
Well, it's used for the time you're here, Mr. Vernier.
Do all of these rooms open out onto the porch?
Yes, the veranda, as we call it.
And there's no way to lock this door, I suppose.
Unfortunately, no. And anyway, the windows are covered only by mosquito netting. It makes another interesting situation, does it not?
Yeah, I suppose interesting is the word for it.
I assume, Mr. Vernier, that you have not been able to identify your man by his personality.
No, whichever one is Steeks is putting on an awfully good act.
Most likely they're all acting to a greater or lesser extent, which of course makes your problem exceedingly difficult.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Kurt. You did say a man rarely came here unless he wanted to lose his past. And yet you're here.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. But then, I am only a servant of the government and have little choice where I am sent. Well, good night, Mr. Vernier.
I sat there in the lamplight for a long time after Kurt left, trying to figure things out and getting nowhere. Gradually, the night breeze brought the smell of the jungle into the room. Rich, exotic, fragrant as a midnight orchid, as disturbing as the scent of danger. Or maybe it was danger itself I was smelling. The heavy knife missed my throat by 2 inches, thudded into a bamboo partition and stuck there, quivering. I dropped down on the floor and slid my .38 out of its holster. I could hear nothing but the rustle of palm thatch along the eaves, low creaks from the pilings underneath the bungalow, and the soft night sounds from the jungle. Finally, I slipped my shoes off, pulled the knife out of the wall and dropped it in my pocket, moved to the door and stepped quietly out into the veranda. It was empty. Across the railing, the fringe of undergrowth was dappled in silver moonlight, and nothing moved. I paused quickly at the 3 doors, and from each heard the sound of snoring. One of the men was faking, but which one? I'd reached the end of the porch when my eye caught a slight movement in a banana clump a few yards from the steps. Someone was hiding there. I moved swiftly, holding the gun ready, and came within a few feet before I could make out a shape in red and white sarong. And shape was right, complete with dark, tumbled curls and a flower behind one ear. It was a girl.
Please, Tuan, the gun. You're going to shoot me?
No, relax, honey. I was looking for somebody else.
And now you have found Nilana, so you are disappointed?
Pleasantly surprised. Nilana, huh?
In your language, it means flower of love.
It's the perfect fit. Are you, blooming out here all alone?
I do not understand, Tuan.
Did you see anybody moving around up there on the veranda a while ago?
Only you, Tuan. I became frightened and ran to hide.
Frightened? Why?
I should not be here. At night, I mean. Let us talk of something else.
All right, Nalana. The moon, for instance?
Oh, yes. Look, is it not big and soft and warm?
Yeah, all of that.
Tuan, you like Nilana, perhaps?
Definitely.
Why do we not go somewhere else? Along the beach, perhaps? You would like that?
Well,
I'm afraid Mr. Veneer is too serious-minded for such things, Nalana.
Mynheer.
Well, Mr. Kert, join us, won't you?
Thank you. Nalana, go to the bungalow at once.
Yes, Mynheer, I go. I go immediately.
She has no business being out alone at night. But, Mr. Veneer, is something wrong with your room? Is it not comfortable?
It was, until this flew in through the window.
A knife?
Yeah, a throwing knife. You ever see it before?
Oh, yeah. It is one of the collection there in the bungalow. The three Americans throw them at targets every evening and wager on the results. I believe Mr. Durant taught the other two.
Yeah, what about you, Mr. Kert? Do you ever bet with them?
It would be too easy. Watch. Now.
Yeah.
I learned to throw a knife in Java many years ago.
And, Nalana, I suppose she's an expert at it, too.
Nalana knows nothing of knives. Her greatest accomplishment is that of making friends too easily.
I see. Just who is she, anyway? Does she live here?
Yeah, she lives here. She is my wife.
Your wife?
Exactly. My wife. Good night, Mr. Veneer.
I stood there in the moonlight and watched him walk toward his bungalow. My simple task was fast becoming involved. When I finally turned in that night, I undressed in the dark, pushed the bed up to block the door, and propped a chair against the windowsill, and lay down on the floor. I kept trying to fit some theory together to account for the things that had happened. When I drifted off to sleep, I was no nearer any answer than before. I woke up with the first light of dawn, and for a full minute was ready to predict a peaceful day. Then I turned my head slightly and saw it. On the floor, against the wall, 18 inches from my left hand, its eyes opening and unmoving, lay a longtail, one of the deadliest snakes in Borneo. Cold sweat broke out on my forehead, ran into the corners of my eyes. Not daring to make any sudden move, I slid my right hand slowly up behind me, found my gun under the pillow. The snake moved slightly, and I froze for one long minute. Carefully, I brought the gun over until I had the ugly head centered above the foresight. Then...
Who fired that shot?
I did, Kurt, in here.
Hey, talk, what's all the shooting about?
I found out now, Duran. It's Mr. Veneer who fired.
What's up, Duran?
Yeah, what was that noise?
I guess Veneer's doing a little target practicing. Come on, guys.
Now, just a minute. Just a minute. I'll let you in. Yeah, there.
Mr. Veneer, you all right?
Sure, Kurt. Come in. I had an early morning visitor. There on the floor.
A longtail. Did he bite you?
No, he didn't.
What the devil's all the racket about? Oh, a snake, eh? That's funny.
What's funny, Duran?
A long-tailed Wilmerding. I just killed one here in my room.
Huh. Well, there's plenty of them around, but I never heard of one crawling into a room before.
I'm not sure it did crawl in. Got an idea it may have been dropped in through the mosquito netting there at the window.
Yeah? By whom?
By a guy named Jerome Steeks. You ever hear of him, Duran?
Oh, that again. Why don't you pick up Wilmerding? He's your man.
Oh, sure. I always carry a couple of snakes around in my pocket, just for luck.
What I want to know is who carries this around in their pocket for luck.
Hey, that's one of our knives from the living room. We throw them at a target.
Yeah, I know. Only last night I was the target.
Oh, then Prail's your boy. He's an expert. Wins every time we play.
Oh, dry up, Duran. One more crack like that.
Okay, relax. So nobody knows anything about these accidents. They just happen, huh? Well, here's a warning to whichever one of you is Steeks. The next time, you better cover yourself. I'm through being a clay pigeon. From now on, it's going to be a lot tougher. A whole lot tougher. That day passed, and the next, and I got exactly nowhere. And the third day, I managed to search the men's quarters and found nothing. Mainly, I'd hoped to find some kind of a bleaching agent. Steeks was described as having black hair, while all three of these men were blonde. Furthermore, I was convinced after 3 days of observation that all three were naturally blonde. Things didn't fit. They didn't add up. I saw Nalana several times, but had no chance to speak to her. When Herr Kurt was with me, she'd pass without a glance. But if I was alone, she'd manage a quick, provocative smile that sent shivers down my spine. By the fourth day, the tension among us was grown almost unbearable. Steamer was due the next evening on his return trip to Batavia. I needed a break of some kind, had to have one. And it came at dusk when I dropped in my room to change for dinner.
Close the door. Quick, Tuan. Speak softly. It is I, Nalana.
Nalana, what in the devil are you doing here?
To see you, Tuan. Does that make you unhappy?
No, it doesn't. But I doubt if Herr Kurt would think much of the idea.
He must not find out. But I wish to ask you something.
All right, honey, shoot.
It is true that you look for a man who has killed a woman in your United States?
Yes, that's right.
A man who now names himself by another name?
Yes. Nalana, do you know?
It is perhaps the same one who one night threw a knife at you?
Yes, I think so. You know who it is?
I saw the knife thrown, Tuan. I was outside by the edge of the...
Quiet.
It is someone?
Yeah, that's Herr Kurt. He's going into the living room.
I'm very frightened, Tuan. I must go.
No, wait. I've got to know what you're going to do.
There is no time now. Tonight, when everyone sleeps, wait by the towel palm at the edge of the clearing. I will come.
All right, I'll be there.
Nalana has done foolish things, Tuan. But tonight, she will fix it all good. You come.
I waited for a long time in the shadow by the palm tree and watched the moonlight sift down through the shaggy fronds. But 2 hours passed and she didn't come. Waiting there, though, in the jungle night, a plan began to form in my mind. A long shot, true enough, but one with possibilities. It needed luck to work. But I'd come to the point where I had to count on a little luck. At any rate, I decided to start the ball rolling the next morning after breakfast.
Now, wait a minute, Vernier. Let's get this straight.
Oh, I thought I put it straight enough, Duran. I said the hunt's off. The boat's due in tonight, and when it leaves, I go with it. You can relax.
Oh? What changed your mind? Our sweet dispositions?
Exactly the opposite, Wilmerding. Every one of you acts as guilty as the next one, and yet in 5 days I haven't been able to find a single characteristic in any of you that fits the description of Steeks. I don't think he's that good an actor. So I'm going back to Batavia and pick up the trail there.
Well, at least you finally got some sense in your head and decided to believe what we told you the first day you were here.
Oh, no, Duran. I didn't say that. Now, I doubt very much if any of you guys is who he claims to be. I wouldn't be surprised if Duran, Wilmerding, and Prail are all phony names, but that's not my business. Now, I came here after Steeks. I've decided now I made a mistake, and that's that.
Oh, great. You come in here and push us around for a week and then decide it was all a mistake.
I'm sorry, Prail. And I'm going to try to make up for it this evening. See, I'm throwing a dinner party at Herr Kurt's bungalow before the boat leaves tonight. You're all invited.
Well, now, that's pretty decent of you, Vernier.
Yeah, I'll get some food and drinks from the captain as soon as he docks. If you're as fed up with Reistoffel and warm beer as I am, he'll be ready for a change.
I think that's right.
Oh, good. Then it's all settled. And I can promise you at least 2 surprise dishes. Maybe 3, if you
I
care
beg
for
your
it.
pardon, gentlemen.
Oh, Kurt, come in.
I was wondering whether any of you had seen Alana this morning.
Not me.
Oh, I haven't.
Why? What's wrong, Herr Kurt?
I'm rather concerned about her, Mr. Vernier. She hasn't been home since early last night.
I had a couple of ideas about that myself. Ideas I wish I didn't have. As soon as the rest of the bunch went about their business, I began my own search for Nalana. It was nearly dusk before I found her. And then I said nothing about it to anyone. But sitting at the table that night while the dinner party moved along, I kept thinking how she'd never smile again. How she'd never walk in the moonlight again. Because somebody had cut her throat.
I know a story along the same lines, but I never heard that one before.
Oh, what a dinner. Boy, after 6 months on Reistoffel, I could go crazy over food like this.
Yeah, when you throw one, Vernier, you really throw it.
No, save the credit, boys. This is only the beginning.
Beginning. Where can you go from here?
Well, right now, for instance, roast boar.
Yeah.
All right, Wong, bring it over. Bring it over.
Right, Thomas, right away. I bring. Look.
Oh,
You like me put here for you to carve, Thomas?
No, I wonder if you'd mind carving, Herr Kurt.
Not at all, Mr. Vernier. I shall be happy to. Place it here, Wong.
Boy, oh boy, I haven't had roast boar since Australia. You know, we used to go pig sticking all the time.
Even the smell's enough to drive you crazy.
Man, you said it, Prail. Ah, you haven't seen anything yet. See, the boar's the main dish, so the two surprises go right along with it. Oh. All right, Wong. Now, bring it out.
Sir, Thomas, sir. Already I bring.
Careful now. Don't drop it. Yeah, thanks. Well, there you are.
What is it? Some kind of wine?
Not some kind. It's Chambertin, vintage 1911. Unquestionably one of the finest red wines that exists in the world today.
Holy smoke, where'd you get it?
I found out on the trip in. The captain of the steamer had a few bottles. Took a lot of talking to get one out of him, but here, I'll open it up one. Have you the glasses?
Sir, Thomas, sir. It's already here on sideboard.
Good. Well, boys, you may go back to warm beer tomorrow, but you've got the best tonight. All right, Wong. Now, show him the second surprise.
Here's one big bucket.
Ice. Hey. Real honest-to-gosh cracked ice.
Boy, I haven't seen a chunk of ice for 6 months.
I thought you'd go for that one. All right, Wong. Serve the wine.
Sir, Thomas, sir.
It was pretty amazing to find 1911 Chambertin in a little tramp freighter down here in the South Pacific. Stuff's so rare, it's hard to get at any price now.
Maybe so, but that ice is what gets me.
Yeah, that's it, Wong. Dump plenty in mine. I want to freeze my
Hey,
tongue.
Wong, stop that. What the devil are you doing?
Wilmerting, what's the matter with you?
He's... I mean...
You mean you're well aware of the fact that ice kills the bouquet of Chambertin? Isn't that it, Steeks?
Steeks? You mean Wilmerding is...
Once a gourmet, always a gourmet. Now, you were very clever, Wilmerding. Clever enough to keep your hair dyed black for years so you could become a natural blonde if you ever had to make a getaway. Clever enough to permit no photographs to be taken. But not clever enough to keep still and let me ruin a bottle of wine. Easy with those hands. Don't try reaching for a gun.
Let him reach for it, Mr. Veneer.
Good, no. Put down that knife.
Look out, Vernier. He's going for his gun.
Good, I wanted it.
Ow!
Good Lord, Cut, you've killed him.
I'm sorry you do not have a prisoner to take back with you, Mr. Veneer. But I, too, found Nilana's body. I knew you had been there. I saw your footprints.
I'm sorry, kid. Then
Yes,
she had...
Nilana had been seeing Wilmerding. I'd guessed it was one of the three, and apparently she found out he was Steeks.
Yeah, I know. That was what she was going to tell me. Only he didn't give her a chance.
She was young, Mr. Veneer. Foolish, perhaps. But I loved her very much.
Look, he knocked over that bottle of wine when he fell. It's pouring out all over the place.
Yeah, brother, what a mess.
Yeah, Duran. It's quite a mess. Only one thing, though. Not all of it is red wine.
Escape was directed this week by Richard Sanville, and tonight brought you Red Wine by L.G. Blockman, adapted for radio by Mort Lewis and Les Crutchfield, with Willard Waterman as Paul Vernier. Featured players were Robert Boone, Marion Richmond, Larry Dobkin, Vic Perrin, Wilms Herbert, and Clark Gordon. Music is conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week,
You are standing at the doorway of a cabin on Cashier Creek. Up on the ridge, the bloodhounds have caught your scent. And between you and a fortune, between you and escape, yawn the white jaws of a deadly snake, a cottonmouth moccasin.
Next week, we escape with Irvin S. Cobb's ironic story, Snake Doctor. Be with us next week at this same time when once again we offer you Escape. Tip Corning speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Suspense, which is usually heard at this hour on Thursday nights, is taking its customary summer holiday. Suspense returns to the air 2 weeks from tonight, on Thursday, September 1st.
You are standing at the doorway of a cabin on Cashier Creek. Up on the ridge, the bloodhounds have caught your scent. And between you and a fortune, between you and escape, yawn the white jaws of a deadly cottonmouth.
We offer you Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Tonight, we escape to the worn-out acres of a poor farm somewhere in the southern mountains with Irvin S. Cobb's great tale of vengeance, Snake Doctor.
Far back in the southern mountains, it's quiet and hot and lonely. One pine-scarred hill is very much like the next, and one winding creek differs little from another. The area through which Cashier Creek twisted was the same as all the rest, except for the snakes. Deadly, venomous, cottonmouth moccasins. There are probably more snakes along Cashier Creek than anywhere else. Most people lived in constant, deadly fear of these snakes, but there was one man who even seemed to like them. A man they called Snake Doctor. His cabin was near the creek bottom where the cottonmouths were the commonest, and he earned his meager living by rendering down their soft fats, bottling their oil, and selling it. Snake Doctor seemed harmless enough, but there was one man who believed he was a colleague of the devil, who hated him, because he wasn't afraid of the snakes. This man was Jafe Mourner, the Snake Doctor's nearest neighbor. Jafe was that dangerous kind of man who suspected, feared, and hated anything he didn't understand. And he understood neither cottonmouths nor the Snake Doctor. Jafe was ornery, ignorant, and shiftless. He'd rather shoot squirrels than chop cotton. He'd rather fish than hoe corn. And that's what he's doing now. Fishing down at the Big Hole with his son and heir, Finney, who's old enough but not quite bright enough to handle a gun.
Missed him, doggy.
Finney, you blame fool. I told you not to touch my gun.
Tromp on him, Pa, before he gets in the creek.
What?
The cottonmouth.
What?
Tromp on him in front of you.
Cottonmouth. The varmint. The unearthly varmint.
You got him, Pa. Keep your foot on him whilst I fetch a stick.
You don't need to, son. He's dead. Now come here.
Pa, how'd he hit anything with that rifle? I had a bead draw right on him, and
You darn fool.
Do that for Pa.
Stirring up that filthy snake whilst I'm a-fishing.
Heck, he was sunning himself not more than 2 feet from you. He was just 2 feet from you.
Never mind that kind of talk. Won't be no fish around here till thunderation after all that racket. Well, come on, let's go home and get us some victuals.
Jafe Mourner tossed his bait can into the creek and threw a stick after it. He stood there watching the stick drift slowly toward the big hole where the creek widened behind a jam of driftwood. Jafe watched as the eddy caught the stick and sucked it beneath the dam.
Come on, Pa.
Jafe was curious. He moved downstream a rod or two and waited, watching the water boil up from under the driftwood. But the stick didn't come up. That was strange. It must have caught under there in a tangle of water-soaked and sunken logs. Probably it'd stay there for months. Perhaps stay there always.
Let's get some victuals, Pa.
Jafe thought about this, and an idea began to form in his slow mind as he and Finney started for home.
How much oil you reckon's in this, and Pa? Daddy?
What you jawing about?
This old cottonmouth. How much oil you reckon's
Throw
in...
it down.
Throw it down? Why for? I'm gonna
Throw
land...
it down like I say.
Oh, I was aiming on rendering the old cottonmouths fat like the Snake Doctor does. I was gonna sell it and make myself some money.
I don't like the squirming things around me.
But it's dead.
Leave it where it dropped.
You scared on cottonmouths, Pa?
I know better than to get myself bit by 'em.
Pip Bailey knowed a fella got himself bit once. Wearing a drap of liquor for miles. So he goes to work and he cuts open a live chicken. And he put on his leg where the bite was. Fella lived, too. Reckon Mr. Rives ever gets himself bit? I mean, handling cottonmouths like he does?
Who?
Mr. Rives.
Who?
Mr. Rives. That's old Snake Doctor's real name. Ma says I oughtn't call him Snake Doctor.
Never mind what your ma says. Nobody in my family's calling no snake-loving scum Mr. Rives.
Heck, that's what I say.
All right.
Could have made myself some money renting that cottonmouth fat down in the oil. How much you reckon old Snake Doctor makes out in all he sells?
I don't know.
Tip Bailey says old Snake Doctor's got more than $1,000 hid away somewheres in his cabin.
More than that, most likely. Cussed old miser don't spend nothing. Ain't got nothing save that rack of bones mare of his.
Tip Bailey says whenever old Snake Doctor sets foot out in his place, he's got the granddaddy of all cottonmouths that he leaves out in the cabin to stand guard over his money.
Yeah.
Tip Bailey says he'd seen old Snake Doctor put him in his pocket. Live ones, too.
Snake Doctor ain't fitting to be live himself.
Ma says he ain't so bad. Says he don't mean nobody harm.
Your ma better be careful who she's associating with.
She says he just don't have good sense. Had the fever too much. Daddy, you ever been in Snake Doctor's place?
I don't have nothing more than I have to do with that snake-loving hoodoo.
Tip Bailey says he'd bet it wouldn't be no task at all for some no good to poke around the Snake Doctor's shack and maybe find all the money and make off with it. Blame the sun's darn near rendering me down. Look at my head, full of sweat. Look, Daddy.
Huh?
See? Full of sweat. Darn near God full of sweat come off. Why turn it down that way, Pa? It's coming on noon. Dinner be most ready.
I'm gonna tell the snake-loving hoodoo that there's some of them cottonmouths on the creek side of our deadening.
Heck, he knows that.
I'm gonna tell him he's got my leave to catch him. You don't need to come along.
Well, if you're going over to his place, I'd kind of like to see it for my own self. Go on in, Pa. He ain't at home. Elsewise, he'd have showed himself by now.
I reckon.
Can you see any snakes?
I told you to keep an eye out for her.
I bet it's in one of them chinks, Pa. Pa, I bet the money's in one of them.
I ain't looking for no money. Must be a dang snake itself, living in a place like this.
I know you ain't looking for any money, Pa, but if and you was, wouldn't you look at that chink right up there?
Where?
Right there, second log by the fireplace on the right. You see that there hole?
Yeah. I reckon I would look up there.
Since we're here...
I might as well see for myself.
Pa, I wouldn't be a mite surprised if old Snake Doctor had him... Pa?
Was you looking for something, Jake Marner?
Snake Doctor.
Yeah. I was looking for you.
I want here.
Yeah. Look here, you old hoodoo. What's the idea of sneaking up on folks who's took the trouble to come all the way down here to do you a favor, huh? Come on, Fenny. We're getting out of here.
Yes, sir. Like as not, he had a dang old moccasin squirching around in his pocket whilst he was talking to you. Daddy, do you mind how his eyes was when he come in? Do you mind how he kept looking up at the wall where I said I bet he had the money between the chinks?
Fenny.
What?
Don't you say nothing to your ma about us being at the Snake Doctor's place, you understand?
Why should
Well,
I?
just don't. And don't you go nigh it again. Cuss old varmint. You'd have thought we was prowlers the way he acted.
Yeah, prowlers. Ma, dinner about ready.
You Paul with you, son?
Yeah, I got time enough for dinner to go down the spring and get me some cold water.
If you stir your stumps, you can. Catch anything, Jake?
You think I can catch fish with Fetty fine off my gun at cottonmouths all the time?
Ain't this heat more than a body can bear? Any cooler but the creek? That poor old Miss Rives come by here a spell ago, mighty nigh shook to pieces with a chill.
Oh. He come by, did he? Well, did he come in?
Just for a minute.
Just for a minute, huh? What'd he want?
He wanted could have give him something for his ailment. Just about could drag one sour foot afore the other. Barely could make it up here from his place. I give him a dose out in our butler's acre drops. Would have given him a little smidgen of liquor, only I couldn't.
You would, huh?
Please don't, Jeff. Don't whop me. Don't, Jeff, don't whop me. Just poor old Mr. Ives.
Mr. Ives. Mr. Ives. How many times I gotta tell you that old hoodoo's name is Snake Doctor?
You don't mean nobody no harm.
He made a skin of lostwit's hide and tallow, and you calling him Mr. Ives. Huh. You be calling him Honey and Sugar next. Without I lawn you, fella.
Please, Jeff, please.
Bad names, huh? Well, I aim to... What's his name now? Well? What's your poor Mr. Rives' name now?
Snake Doctor.
Kizzy Morna rubbed the ugly red welt on her scrawny arm and gave the frying pan full of sizzling side meat a hopeless nudge. She prayed that time and food might take the edge off Jafe's temper. Finney slouched in from the spring, saw the mark on her arm.
Pa been whomping you again, Ma? What'd you do this time?
She silently dished up the hogback and cornbread for her two men. While they sat at table, she ate on her feet, serving them between bites, as was the custom in the Morna household. After dinner, Finney stretched out under the chinaberry tree, and Kizzy sat on the porch, fanning herself and dipping snuff with a peach twig, scouring it back and forth on her gums. Jafe took his ease on the floor of the back room, but he didn't sleep. The meanness was stirring in him, and his hatred of the man he couldn't understand, the man who'd got rich off of cottonmouths. His mind was working on something he'd seen that day and another thing he'd heard. He was adding them together. That stick had disappeared under the log jam, and the Snake Doctor's money. It was 4 o'clock before any of them moved, and then Jafe spoke to his wife for the first time since noon.
Busy? Where's that there vial of drinking liquor?
By the window. You took it out in your pocket before you laid down.
I ought to carry a vial of liquor with me. I might get bit by a moccasin as soon as Pa would.
You better not let me catch you. You find it, Jeff?
Yeah. I just remembered. I won't be needing to tote no spits along with me while I'm going.
I wouldn't take no chance, Dave. Just one cottonmouth bite.
Cottonmouth's all down the slashes, else along a creek. Well, I'll be all this evening's up along Bailey's Ridge in the high ground.
You fixing to go shooting?
Aim to gun me a chance of young squirrels twixt now and dusk time. Heard 'em barking all around me this morning.
Reckon I'll come along, Pa.
You stay in here, son.
Oh, dang it. It'll be steaming in the place when the rain comes down. Pa, you might be needing me just...
You stay here.
Oh, dang it.
Kizzy, you set me up a snack of cold supper on the chef. Likely I won't get back till it's plumb dark.
In just a moment, we'll return to the second act of Escape. But first, that wonderful variety show with a purpose, CBS's 1 hour-long program, This is Broadway, will be round again tomorrow night on most of these same stations. Comedian Abe Burrows, Broadway playwright George S. Kaufman, Master of Ceremonies Clifton Fadiman will all be here, playing host to the top stars of show business. Hear these top stars and their top acts. Then listen closely as the expert showmen on This is Broadway help them with show business problems. And now, we return to the second act of Escape and tonight's story, Snake Doctor.
Jafe Mourner turned north through his struggling cornrows, and in a minute he was lost from sight. He kept on for nearly a mile till he came to a wild red mulberry tree. Where there are mulberries, there are bound to be squirrels. Very neatly, he shot 2 young grays right through the head. But Jafe was a master marksman. And unsuspected by any who knew him, Jafe had another quality, one that made him more dangerous than the rest of his kind. Jafe had an imagination. Today it was in excellent working order. He tied the brain squirrels together and swung them over his shoulder. If needed, they'd be his alibi. And then he sat down under a tree for a while.
Got plenty of time. Don't need to get down to Snake Doctor's place till about dusk. When he comes out to feed that swayback mare of his. Mr. Ryan.
He sat out 2 brisk thunder showers and the intervals between them. And then he set off in a wide arc down Bailey's Branch along the skirts of Little Cypress Slash, down to the sunken flats edging Cashier Creek. It took more than an hour of careful traveling before he came to his destination. A screen of haw bushes, less than 50 yards behind the Snake Doctor's cabin.
No matter how ailing he is, he'll get up and come out to feed that rack-a-bones mare. Mr. Ryan. Well, I'll learn him to go colleaguing around another man's woman.
Jafe Mourner let his jealousy heat him to white hatred. At this moment, he was avenging his honor. Didn't admit even to himself that the real reason he was here was the Snake Doctor's money, hidden behind the log by the fireplace.
Home-wrecking, snake-loving varmint. 10 minutes from now, I'll chunk him down a big hole in the creek like I did that stick this morning. And he'll go down and never come up. And nobody'll miss him. Nobody'll know he's gone for leastwise a week, maybe a month. And maybe if I get around to it, I might come back this way someday. Poke around that cabin of his, and just to see if it's true, his having all that money hid away.
Jafe Mourner's speculations were cut short. The cabin door opened, and a figure stepped out into the growing dusk and walked toward the stable. He saw the Snake Doctor's loppy old straw hat and his dark coat drawn over a pit. At this distance, he couldn't miss. And he didn't. The figure jerked backward and then went face forward. Jafe started for him, then he stopped. His eyes bugged. His mouth formed a scream that he couldn't utter. His rifle dropped to the ground. He had just killed a Snake Doctor, killed him dead with a .32 caliber slug through the head. And there on his door still stood Snake Doctor, whole and sound, staring at him.
Jafe Mourner, what have you done?
The scream came at last, for Jafe Mourner had seen the devil. The Snake Doctor who arose alive from his bullet-riddled body. Jafe whirled and ran into the deep, darkening woods, whimpering like a whipped puppy as he tore through the brush. Escape. He must escape this thing. He must get under the shelter of a sound roof. He must have the protection of 4 walls around him. He ran and ran for hours. It was close to midnight when he came out on a dirt road a short distance southeast of his own land. Beyond the next bend, he'd be in sight of home. And then he stopped. Around the bend, coming toward him, was a joggling light, a lantern hanging on a buggy. Jake flattened himself in a clump of brush to hide until the traveler passed. And then, just as the rig was opposite him, he heard a call coming from the other direction.
Hello there! Who's jogging?
Oh, there. Oh, steady, boy. Me, Davis Ware. That you, Tip Bailey?
Yes. Hoofing it out from the junction. Tolerable tired. What brings you out this time of night, Davis? Somebody sick?
Sick nothing. There's been a parcel of trouble popping in these bottoms tonight. Steady, boy. Steady.
What do you mean?
A killing. That's what I mean.
You don't say. Who got killed?
I'm fixing to tell you. It happened just around dusk time down at old Snake Doctor's place.
Yeah? Was it him was killed?
Give me time, Tip. It seems like Snake Doctor's been a chillin' lately.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty bad off today, so Miss Kizzy Morner, she footed it down from her place to his'n, fetching some physic with her and a plate of hot victuals.
Mighty thoughty, Miss Morner, mighty thoughty.
You want to hear this?
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, boy. Well, pretty soon after she got there, it seemed like he was tired, and he tried to get up out of his bed to go and feed that old crowbait nag of his'n. It started in again by then, pouring down hard, so she made him stay where he was, and she put on his old hat and throwed his old coat around her, and he wanted to keep out of the wet, and no more, and she got outside, and a shot came from the edge of the woods, and down she went with a bullet through her brains.
Killed her?
Kizzy. It was a dog.
It was
Kizzy. But who done it?
It was that low-flung husband of hers done it, that's who.
They certain 'twas him?
Sure thing. Oh, boy. Sure thing, they're certain. Snake doctor jumped up when he heard the shot, and he catched a quick look at Jafe over the fence. There wasn't a long streak in Kiz's arm where he must have whopped her during the day.
Why, hanging's a sight too good. Did they catch him?
No, but they gonna.
Sheriff get there yet?
Oh, but he's due any minute with his pack of hound dogs.
Oh.
Trail ought to lay good. Ground being damp the way it is.
Oh, for sure.
Old snake doctor, he's a-saying the Lord's gonna strike the murder down in his track.
Amen.
But me, I'm a-putting my main dependence on them bloodhounds.
Oh, poor Miss Marner. She always was a good-hearted, hard-working woman.
Kizzy.
And mightily put
She's
upon
dead.
by that skunk.
I
Jake.
shot Kizzy.
Say, did you hear something just then?
Can't say I did.
Yeah. Oh, probably a rabbit breaking through the brush.
Listen,
Yeah?
the sheriffs are coming.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear them hounds of his'n?
Oh, just for sure.
I gotta hurry. Get up, Bessie. Come on.
I'll see you back at the morning.
You sure will.
Jafe didn't waste no time mourning his dead wife. He had a chance against a pack of bloodhounds if he started right away. But Jafe's imagination went to work again as he backtracked along the creek bottom in the spotty moonlight.
Gotta throw those dogs off the trail. You gotta wade the creek, even if it is full of cotton mounds. Must be all around me now. Folks say don't strike in the water. Hope them folks is right. Yeah, I gotta get back to the snake doctor's. Get his money while he's still up at my place with Kiz's remains. Get his money and the rest will be easy. I'll make for the deep timber, cross country to the river, make it by tomorrow sundown. Hire me a shanty boater to ferry me to the Arkansas side. Will get me a haircut and catch me a train for somewhere else. And I gotta get Snake Doctor's money first.
Snake Doctor's cabin was dark and empty when Jafe reached it. Only a few dull embers in the fireplace. But he knew where the chink was. He'd find it in the dark. He scrabbled at the logs, felt some bark give, felt the clay mortar crumble under his fingernails. There it was, a hole big enough for a man's arm. He plunged his hand into it, touched something slick and smooth, and then something sharp plunged into his thumb. At that moment, the fire flickered to life. Jafe yanked his hand out of the hole, saw two tiny bleeding punctures in his thumb. At the mouth of the hole stretched the wide-open jaws of a cottonmouth. It worked fast. He felt the pain leaping from his thumb to his hand, seeping up his arm. If only he had some liquor. If he had a fresh-killed chicken to slap on the wound, but he had nothing. Then a sharp, horrible pain wrenched his heart, and then a second. And there in the firelight, the huge cottonmouth poised in its crevice. Jafe leaped out of the shack, started blindly for the timber. He staggered, stumbled, then he pitched forward on his face, his open mouth full of weeds and muddy grass stems. The cramping fingers of his outstretched right hand almost touched a reddish-black smear on the wet, trampled grass.
Good riddance, by gravy. I'd call it that, wouldn't you, Doc?
I reckon there's a sort of rough justice in the way he died. Look, his hand reaching out, just about touching the blood where his woman fell. But in all my life, I've never known but 2 or 3 people actually was bitten by water moccasins. And until tonight, I've never had personal knowledge of anybody dying from the bite of any kind of snake.
Is a fact.
You know that crazy I'm going to take that rifle off of you, Finny Marner.
I'm going to kill the dang reptile that killed my pa.
That Mourner's boy kicking up the fuss?
Yep, and no good like his paw.
Let go of me. I'm my own boss now.
What's the trouble, Tip?
Finny here's went out in his hay.
I'm going to kill the snake that bit my paw. Then I'm going to give that snake doctor a whumping for keeping a reptile in this place.
Your pa got what was his due, Finny. Snake doctor ain't to blame.
He's a hoodoo devil.
Looky here, boy. Mr. Rives give me all his savings, nearly $100, to pay for burying your mother decent. That's how much he thought of her. Now go on home. Behave yourself.
I'm going to get
Go on, Finny. There ain't no reason for you hanging around here.
Somebody ought to kill a reptile that bit my paw.
Doc, just a minute ago you started to say something about snake bite not killing. But how about them 2 marks on his thumb? Them snake's gashes like some I've seen.
No, that don't explain how it... Huh?
It's Finny Marner. He's in the cabin.
The fool kid. Come on, Doc. He's probably shot.
Well, we'll soon find out.
I shot it, but I didn't hit it. It's going to get me like he got my paw.
He said he shot at something in the cabin. Come on, Doc. Let's go see.
All right, we'll find out. I don't see anything.
Oh, Finney's had enough happen to him yesterday and today to upset even a bright boy. So we can't... Oh. There it is.
What?
That cottonmouth up there in that hole in the log.
Oh, that. Snake doctor told me about that varmint. Look at him closer, Davis.
No, sir. Not me.
Go ahead. It's just a stuffed snake.
Stuffed?
Mm-hmm. Snake doctor believes in precautions because that hole's where he hides his money. That snake would scare away anybody who didn't know it was stuffed. But just to be sure, old snake doctor lined the hole with coils of barbed wire.
Oh, I see. You mean them marks on Jafe's thumb was got off the barbed wire?
That's right, sir. Lot stronger hearts than Jafe Mourners would stop beating at a scare like that.
Well, I'll be switched. Old snake doctor's a cute one, ain't he?
Escape, produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Tonight brought you Snake Doctor by Irvin S. Cobb, adapted for radio by Fred Howard, starring Bill Conrad as Jafe with Paul Frees as Finney. Featured in the cast were Ira Grossell as the narrator, Bill Lally, Ruth Parrott, Wilms Herbert, and Edgar Barrier. Music is conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week,
you are groping through the midnight dimness of a gigantic department store, and suddenly you realize that 100 eyes are staring at you from the shadows, and 100 hands are reaching for your throat, and your most urgent desire is to escape.
Next week, we escape with John Collier's story, Evening Primrose. Be with us next week at the same time when once again we offer you Escape. Ethelbert is at the bar, and Ann and Casey are about to enter on another thrilling crime photographer adventure. Tonight, it's a story entitled Big Danger, and it'll be along on most of these same CBS stations in just a moment. This is John Jacobs speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.